International Weather News Bulletin, October 6, 2025. Headline: Closely monitoring a new disturbance in the Atlantic. Early warning for the Caribbean. Good day, everyone, and welcome to International Weather News, broadcast on this Monday, October 6, 2025. It's a pleasure to have you with us for this special global weather edition. Ladies and gentlemen, with less than 2 months left in the Atlantic hurricane season, the atmosphere is showing no signs of calming down. In just the first few days of October, meteorologists have raised alerts for a strong tropical disturbance now moving across the Atlantic Ocean toward the eastern Caribbean. This is not an emergency warning, but it is certainly a signal that demands close attention. Nearly all major forecasting models around the world are indicating a high likelihood that this system could organize into a tropical storm within the next 48 to 72 hours. Some models even suggest it could become a named storm, Jerry, later this week. We are now entering what experts call the monitor mode phase, applied to the region stretching from Anguilla to Barbados, including St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Grenada, Antigua and Barbuda, and several smaller islands across the eastern Caribbean. This means meteorological agencies and local communities have begun watching the system's development carefully. While residents are urged to stay updated, stay calm, and prepare plans just in case conditions worsen. Wave developing disturbance over the Atlantic. According to satellite data from NOAA and the U.S. National Hurricane Center, the disturbance in question is a tropical wave that originated off the west coast of Africa about a week ago. After departing the Cabo Verde region, it has been tracking westward, merging with a pre-existing tropical moisture belt, creating a large cluster of intense thunderstorms and convection. Over the past 24 hours, the convection has strengthened noticeably. Infrared satellite imagery shows dense cloud tops spinning around a weak center. An early sign that the system is trying to form a closed low, the first step toward becoming a tropical cyclone. However, environmental conditions remain mixed. On the positive side, sea surface temperatures are running between 29 and 30.5 degrees Celsius, well above average, providing ample heat energy for development. On the negative side, upper-level wind shear from the northwest is quite strong and could disrupt vertical organization. Additionally, dry mid-level air, associated with Saharan dust, is infiltrating the system, suppressing sustained thunderstorm growth. These two factors, wind shear and dry air, are currently the main obstacles. If the system manages to withstand them over the next 48 hours, tropical cyclone formation becomes highly probable. Bar graph model guidance and forecast trends. Let's talk about the models, always the most watched part of the forecast for the Caribbean. The GFS, US, ICON, Germany, and Canadian models are all in agreement that the disturbance will strengthen quickly as it approaches the eastern Caribbean, likely reaching tropical storm strength between Tuesday and Thursday. These models depict a well-defined center with pressure dropping below 1,005 hectopascals and winds between 65 to 80 km per hour, tracking generally west-northwest. The Google DeepMind AI model, introduced earlier this season, shows a similar strengthening trend but with an earlier northward turn, sparing the southern Caribbean islands and potentially curving toward Bermuda within 5 to 6 days, a more optimistic scenario if it verifies. In contrast, the European ECMWF model, often regarded as the most reliable, remains less aggressive. It shows only a weak, disorganized system bringing showers and winds of 35 to 45 knots, but not organizing into a named storm. According to ECMWF, persistent wind shear and limited mid-level moisture could keep it weak or cause it to dissipate. This divergence has divided the meteorological community. Some believe the warm sea surface temperatures will fuel development, as we saw with Idalia and Imelda earlier this season, while others expect the environment to suppress it. If the convection remains robust despite the shear, there is a strong likelihood this system will become Tropical Storm Jerry within 48 hours. Joystick monitor mode status. As of this morning, the entire Eastern Caribbean is under monitor mode, meaning active watchfulness without immediate action. Islands including Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Grenada, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, Anguilla, the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico have all been advised to closely follow weather updates. This does not mean evacuation or panic. It simply means stay in contact with official sources. Review your emergency plans. Make sure flashlights, batteries, radios, and essential supplies are ready. If the system intensifies in the next 2 days, alerts will be upgraded to action mode, signaling the need for protective steps for property, boats, and homes. For now, though, early awareness gives everyone valuable time to prepare calmly and effectively. Wind face possible tracks and impact scenarios. 2 main scenarios are currently being discussed. Early northward turn. If easterly trade winds weaken and the subtropical ridge retreats, the system could be drawn northward, curving into the open Atlantic and missing most of the Caribbean islands. Westward path. If the ridge holds and wind shear decreases, the disturbance could continue westward, passing near Barbados, St. Lucia, Antigua, or even Puerto Rico later this week. In that case, heavy rainfall, strong gusts, and rough seas would be expected. Fortunately, the system is still about 2.000 kilometers east of the Caribbean, giving ample time for adjustments and refinements in the forecast. Cyclone active Eastern Pacific. The Pacific Ocean is also busy this week. 2 tropical systems, Hurricane Priscilla and Tropical Storm Octave, are spinning near the Mexican coastline, appearing to interact in a Fujiwara effect when 2 cyclones orbit each other. Priscilla, the stronger of the 2, is producing sustained winds of around 110 km per hour, moving parallel to Mexico's southwest coast. Forecasts show Priscilla could bring 150 to 200 millimeters of rainfall to Guerrero, Oaxaca, and Chiapas, leading to flash floods and landslides in mountainous regions. Behind it, another low-pressure area may form and head toward Baja California, potentially spreading tropical moisture northward into Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and even Southern California next week. In short, while the Caribbean monitors one system, Mexico and the southern U.S. are also preparing for widespread rainfall and flood risks. Umbrella with rain drops regional rainfall forecast, Caribbean. Over the next 3 days, scattered showers and thunderstorms will persist across much of the region. Northern Bahamas and Turks and Caicos. 40 to 60% rain chance. Occasional downpours, waves 2 to 3 meters, gusts to 60 to 70 kilometers per hour. Puerto Rico and Virgin Islands. 40 to 50% rain chance, especially increasing Monday and Tuesday evenings. Antigua, Barbuda, St. Martin and Anguilla. Rain probabilities rising toward midweek. 50% chance of thunderstorms and gusty winds. Southern Islands, Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent. Mostly sunny with 20 to 30% rain coverage. Highs 32 to 34 degrees Celsius. Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada. Still quite dry and hot. Rain chances below 30%. Daytime highs 33 to 35 degrees Celsius. Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic. Scattered afternoon thunderstorms, 50 to 60% coverage. Heavier along northern Cuba and the eastern mountains. Central America, Belize to Panama. Deep tropical moisture and Pacific monsoon flow bringing widespread heavy rain, 60 to 70% coverage. Risk of flooding and landslides. Southern Mexico. Under Priscilla's direct influence, rainfall totals could exceed 200 millimeters, posing serious flood hazards. Wave maritime conditions. Transatlantic shipping lanes continue to experience rough seas from the remnants of Humberto and Imelda, leaving strong swells and dangerous currents. Coastal erosion remains a significant problem along parts of the Carolinas, Georgia, Florida, and the Bahamas, where some beachfront properties have sustained structural damage. Even if this new disturbance does not become a storm, it will still generate rough seas and high surf across the region, posing risks to small craft and marine tourism through the coming week. Maple Leaf North America and Canada weather snapshot. In North America, a sharp contrast in weather patterns continues. British Columbia, drier and sunnier today after days of rainfall, though showers will return early in the week. Manitoba and Ontario, ongoing rainfall around Red Lake and Kenora, with over 40 millimeters recorded in 24 hours. Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, unseasonably warm early October air pushing highs to 29 to 31 degrees Celsius. But a powerful cold front midweek will drop temperatures dramatically to 12 to 14 degrees Celsius, bringing widespread rain and storms. Atlantic Canada, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, generally dry and cool. St. John's could dip to 9 degrees Celsius by the weekend. Bell final message, early warning and calm preparedness. Friends, the Caribbean remains under monitor mode, not an emergency yet, but an important phase of heightened awareness. If convection holds and the disturbance overcomes wind shear in the next 48 hours, Tropical Storm Jerry could indeed form. The key right now is not panic, it's preparedness. Stay informed through official channels. Do not share unverified rumors. And remember, early preparation is always the best protection for yourself, your family, and your community. Thank you for watching International Weather News. If you found this report helpful, please subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay with us for continuous global weather updates. We'll return as soon as new information becomes available from the National Hurricane Center. I'm Brian Tran, wishing you a safe, peaceful evening. Stay alert, stay prepared, and stay resilient against whatever the weather may bring.